Hey everybody, how you doing? Scott Spreitzer here at DocSports.com, and our update for Wednesday, January 23rd, 2019. Free pick coming up in just a moment. First, a quick note: if you've yet to become a member at DocSports.com, want to give it a try, click on the link below the video and get set up for a free $60 account, which can be used on any of our daily packages over at DocSports.com. Again, click on the link below the video, get set up for the free $60 account. Couple of notes before we get to the free pick. Listen, we had a 9-3 weekend, up about $2,000 for $100 per unit bettors, but Monday and Tuesday have been crap results for me. It started with those two college basketball losers on Monday, where if we made one more basket by each team, we would have covered both. Instead, we lost both. And so Monday and Tuesday have not gone well. It's time to snap back, I should say, on a Wednesday. And we do love one of the plays on Wednesday's card in college basketball. In fact, it is a 7-star main event in college basketball on Wednesday. It is a short underdog, and we do note that we're on a 71% winning run with our 7-star and 6-star plays, and up over $3,300 for $100 per unit during this current run. We swept the weekend with our 7- and 6-star plays in basketball, and our first one since the weekend goes on Wednesday. It's part of a 2-play package in college basketball, and they will be available early on Wednesday morning over at DocSports.com. Exclusively 7-star play, 3-star play, both are short dogs in college basketball for Wednesday's card. So we expect to get right back in the win column, extend the run to 73%, and go up over $4,000 with our 7-star, 6-star combined plays run for $100 per unit bettors. I wanted to mention also we will have NBA posted at DocSports.com on Wednesday morning, and NHL. That's all going to be available at DocSports.com. I wanted to mention some Super Bowl stuff, for lack of a better word, coming up over the next week, what we're going to be talking about. Tuesday night's Vegas Beat podcast is in the can. It will be available at DocSports.com on the homepage on Wednesday morning. That'll be in the upper right-hand corner of the homepage. You can click on the drop-down link, click on the Vegas Beat. Indian Cowboy Bernie Fratto and I talked a little bit about our early thoughts to betting the NFL. We gave some Super Bowl betting game plans, so to speak, and some props, how to bet the props, that kind of good stuff. Jason Simbel, VP of Risk Management over at CGT Sportsbooks, joined us on Tuesday night, and he talked a little bit about the amount of props they're likely to have and what will be posted later this week at CG. Talked about their limits on the props, and of course gave us the latest or current update on the early betting so far on Super Bowl 53. And as you can imagine, New England has been getting overwhelming support, both tickets and sharp action. They opened their line, by the way, New England +1. It's now New England -2.5 at CG, and that's the way most sports books are right now. That total, which has been as high as 59, has been dropping. And as I asked Jason Simbel on the podcast, is it partially due to the fact that New England can really grind out long, time-consuming drives? And he said, absolutely, that's what it is, part of it at least, that they will take a lot of minutes off the clock on scoring drives. We saw it against Kansas City last week. We saw it the week before, a couple of drives that were 7 minutes or more that ended in scoring drives for New England. So we've seen that total come down. We've seen the number, of course, move to New England -2.5. I asked him if he thought, as behind the counter, if the Patriots would ever get to 3 before the Super Bowl kicks off, and he said he doubted it. And I agree with that, because it would be bought hard at +3. Rams money coming in from sharp action if it ever does get to 3. But you will see some money line price movement on that 2.5. People will be playing with that back and forth leading up to game time. And still over 90% of the action will be taken in the final 48 hours before kickoff. We also talked about the fact that if you follow the early money on the Super Bowls, you have done quite well, the early movement. Now, I'm just reporting what somebody else wrote. This was another article that a good friend of mine, a fellow bettor, sent to me via email when he saw the article. And basically, it's follow the early money. You're on an 8-2-1 spread run in Super Bowl betting for what it's worth. But just some notes, and you can go listen to it. It's about a 45, 50-minute podcast for me, IC, and Bernie Fratto, and Jason Simbel's on there for about 10, 12 minutes from behind the counter. It gives us the sports book perspective from the CG Sportsbooks here in Las Vegas. And again, that'll be up on Wednesday over at DocSports.com. We also have best bets for the Vegas Beat podcast. We're going to get interactive with the Vegas Beat podcast. More on that coming up over the next couple of days. And we did break down some Thursday NBA and some college basketball. So, again, it'll all be available Wednesday on the homepage over at DocSports.com. Thought this was pretty fun and interesting. We're going to get into some serious props next week, obviously, on these videos, because we always do believe there's a good 5 to 7 prop bets that we're going to have almost every year where we really do dig into it. And in my 25-plus years of handicapping and betting from a professional standpoint, I've had several years where I haven't been involved in the side or the total in the Super Bowl, but we've always had at least a couple of props, and we'll talk more about those as we get closer to next week and to the game itself. But Rafael Esparza, you know him from Vegas, from DocSports.com, and Rafael, who was once the sportsbook director at the Aria on the Strip in Las Vegas. He's now setting numbers, as you know, a lot of the numbers over at MyBookie. And Rafael sent me this on Tuesday, and I thought I'd forward it. Some of the fun stuff. Now, everybody loves the way Tony Romo is analyzing games, predicting plays even before they happen. I love it myself. I mean, he told us all about what the Chargers were doing against the Ravens, you know, less than halfway through that game when they beat Lamar Jackson in the wild card round. And then, of course, everybody else took credit saying that they discovered what the Chargers were doing against Lamar Jackson. Of course, that was hours after the game went final. Tony Romo was telling us what was going on during the course of the game. But here's some of the props that Rafael Esparza has set for MyBookie, and it involves Tony Romo. One of those is how many plays will Tony Romo correctly predict during the Super Bowl. The over-under is 7.5 plays, and minus $1.10 on the choice of over or under. Rafael also posted the quarter of Tony Romo's first correct play prediction. First quarter plus $1.50, second quarter plus $1.75, third quarter plus $2.50, fourth quarter plus $300. And Rafael also asked the question and posted the prop, will Tony Romo or Jim Nantz mention the point spread during the course of the game? And I really do agree with this. Excuse me, Rafael posted the yes at plus 300, and no, they won't mention the point spread at minus 500. Listen, it's Romo and Nantz. It's not Al Michaels. It's not Brent Musburger, who do pay attention to the line. I would doubt highly that Tony Romo mentions the point spread, and I don't think Jim Nantz will either. So just some of the fun props, and we'll be bringing up new props throughout the next several days. And again, we'll get to the serious props early next week and as we head into Super Bowl Sunday. But just some fun stuff from Rafael and the folks over at MyBookie. As far as our free play for Wednesday, we're backing Team 838. That is Hawaii. They're getting a couple of points as we speak from UC Irvine. This game goes at midnight Eastern, Wednesday night, Thursday morning, 9 p.m. Pacific on Wednesday night. And we're going to back Hawaii here. Listen, they went on the road and they had their 5-game winning streak snapped at UC Riverside last time out. But as far as UC Irvine's concerned, we backed UCI a couple of times this season. They've only won 4 of the last 7 games. They've dropped 6 of the last 7 against the spread. And that 4-3 straight-up mark is a bit disappointing because they were favored to win 6 of those 7 games. And then you got Hawaii, who owns strong numbers at home. I mean, go check them out. Their home numbers have been outstanding, which is why they're 8-2 straight up at home this season. And I think they get the job done tonight. Again, they're getting a bucket. I totally understand why the sports books make them a short dog here, but power rating-wise, I've got them as a short favorite. We'll back Hawaii as we look to get back on track with our free plays. Hawaii plus the bucket over UC Irvine. And again, that is a midnight Eastern time start on Thursday morning, midnight Eastern, 9 p.m. Pacific, Wednesday night. All right, listen, again, on a Wednesday at DocSports.com, we look to extend our red-hot 7-star, 6-star plays run. We're looking to go to 73% with our last 15. We're looking to run the profit of $3,300 plus up to over $4,000 for those wagering just $100 per unit. 2 plays in college basketball and all. One's a 7-star main event. NBA will be posted also on Wednesday morning at DocSports.com along with the NHL. If you like these videos, click on that thumbs up button. Be sure to subscribe. We appreciate those who have done so thus far. Scott Spreitzer, DocSports.com. Best of luck on Wednesday. I'll be right back here Thursday, 4 a.m. Eastern, 1 a.m. Pacific with our next report.